Hello. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're doing Mars and Gemini for all the Mars and Gemini people. And just before we begin, as always, please make sure to go on my Instagram and follow if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube. What are you waiting for? And my TikTok, I'm starting that. It's a very fresh new baby, so please go and support because it takes a village to raise a child. And well, I've got two. One of them is called Instagram, and one of them is called TikTok. And I guess this one is my third child. So I have three children that you should love and appreciate. So as I've always said, Mars is, our passion and our fuel to do things. Mars is the thing that gives us energy. It's like if we are cars, then Mars is like fuel. It's like petrol. It's gas, And obviously all of our Mars signs are different, So that's why we all fueled by different things. You know what I'm saying? So what makes me excited is completely different to what makes you excited, And that's because we all have different placements and shit like that. So with Mars, as I said, Mars being our fuel, being, the way that we're passionate about something and how we passionately do things. And if Venus is our love language, then Mars is our hate language. How we express ourselves when we are when we're enraged, or even feeling passionate about something, because as I said, if Venus is our pleasures, then Mars is what we're passionate about, what makes you feel passionate, what sparks the fuel in you to go about doing things, and the intention behind why you do the things that you do, and how you do the things that you do, and the energy that you do those things with. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So that's Mars. Mars is how you Mars is basically responsible for, as I said, like our energy, because as I've explained in, the Mars and Aries video, is that the sun is how we act, but our actions are fueled with intention. And before you do something, there's always an intention behind why we're doing something, the reason. Like, what's the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I just explained the reason.
What was the reason, bitch?
You know what I'm saying? That energy. Cardi B's the Aries moon, by the way. But just to put that out there. But Mars is basically the intention behind why we do the things that we do. And also because Mars, is ruled by the root chakra, our red chakra, it also feels like how we survive. Mars is responsible for how we survive. And speaking of survival, as I made the example during COVID times, where that was our survival was being threatened, so a lot of us went into survival mode. And Mars a lot of the times is also our survival mode language. What you do in a situation where your life is being threatened, or your security is being threatened, or your safety is being threatened. Like that's when the Mars instincts kick in. Excuse me. So that's why a lot of Scorpios and Aries, even Capricorns too, but mostly Scorpios and Aries, because they are ruled by Mars, they are naturally always ready to fight for something, or always ready to what's the word? They're always ready to protect their survival. That's why they're always ready to fight, because Mars deals with that. Obviously, Mars is the god of war, and we all know that, chat. So yeah, that's Mars. That's Mars. Mars is about, the energy that you have. It is the passion that you have, the anger language that you have, the how you survive, how you use your internal natural instincts to survive and provide for yourself and the people, places, and things that you deem as, things that help you survive. That's Mars, And then we have Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. It's a mutable air sign ruled by Mercury. And it's ruled by the third house. So the third house is, it's like your familiarities. Third house rules everything that you're familiar with, friends, your neighbors, your siblings, your the neighborhood that you grew up in, you know what I'm saying, things and people, and even words. Like, words are familiar things, because like right now I'm speaking English, and I know how to speak English because I've been speaking English, my whole life. So this language is familiar to me. But if I had to learn Chinese, that's an unfamiliar language to me. So that would fall more so on the 11th house, the house of unfamiliarities. Yeah, but then third house is basically just, how you familiarize yourself with people by interacting, because the third house, because it's ruled by Gemini, or because it birthed the Gemini constellation, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. The third house also innately deals with interaction, because the way that we interact with our environment is the way that we get familiar with our environment, which is why if we add Gemini, if we talk about Gemini sign, and why Geminis are so free, and they're able to talk to anybody, it's because they are adaptable enough to interact with any environment, so that they can be familiar with all kinds of environments. And this is why Geminis are super super smart, because obviously because of Mercury too, but also because like they're able to interact and know how to change and morph themselves in order to interact with whatever environment that they're in, so that they can gain information about that environment as a way to be familiar with that information. And if they're in an environment that, imitates that environment, then they're intellectual enough and smart enough to know what to do in each situation. Not saying that they're always going to do the right thing or the smartest thing, but at least they'll know. Because Gemini is still a curious sign. And Gemini is ruled by the third house, the house of familiarities, our siblings, our schools, our friends. And it's also ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication, talking, intellect, analyzing things, discussions, debates, anything dealing with your brain and your nervous system, because your nerves are responsible for sending, messages to each body part to tell it what to do. And that all happens in a very rapid time, So that rapidness, that's Mercury, because it's about information. So your brain sends information to each body part to do all these things unconsciously. We are like not aware of these things, Only like if you go to science or biology and then they tell you, then you're like, oh, okay, like, then you start knowing like, okay, I know why I can open my hand like this, and I know why I can blink, and I know why I can move my shoulders. It's all because my brain has told my shoulders. But that's interaction with my brain to my shoulders or my hands. That was Mercury, the whole informative side of it, because really everything is all about interaction. We're all interacting with each other in minor and major ways. Even the planets are also interacting. So Mercury is a very important planet in that way, and as I said, also Mercury rules, language and just communication, analyzing, dissecting things, and informing other people, and also being informed, so yeah, that's Mercury. So if we put the two together, we have somebody who is passionate about these things. Mars and Gemini people become then passionate about communicating. They become passionate about, and also mind you, Gemini is a mutable sign. Mutable meaning many. So Geminis are able to communicate in many different ways, think in many different ways, think about different things, and look at dual sides of each of the things that they're thinking. So this is what makes it unstable also. It makes it unstable because it's not reliable, because it's here and there and everywhere else, and it's dissecting two sides of everything all at the same time, all the time. But yeah, Gemini is mutable, so they have many different ways of communicating, and they know how to morph themselves. Not only the third house, but Gemini, the sign itself. They know how to morph themselves and fit in with the crowd, and just know how to interact with the crowd by adapting to the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So when Mars is here, this is someone who's passionate about those things. Their passion lies in, learning, because, learning is also a form of getting information. So they're passionate about learning, and they learn very quickly. And whenever they do have a passion, they want to learn that passion very, very quickly. But here's the thing, with learning things quickly, you get bored just as quick, because however you start something, it's going to end that way. And the thing is with Gemini energy, and this is me speaking as a Gemini moon, the thing with Gemini energy is that, it always wants to, it always wants things to happen very rapidly. Especially not so much Virgos too, a little bit, but I think with a Virgo, like the difference between maybe a Virgo, a Mars in Virgo, and a Mars in Gemini is that, like, a Mars in Gemini, they will get bored quickly and then they'll just jump onto another thing without thinking of, okay, maybe I should probably finish this. But a Mars and Virgo person, if they had to start a project or if they had to get into something, and if they don't see the result as quickly as they feel like they should, then that's when they get frustrated, and that's when they get all nervous, and then that's when a Mars and Virgo may feel like, okay, fuck, let me just start something else, or fuck, how can I improve this, But I think the theme with Mercury is a lack of patience, definitely. Because Mercury is like the fastest planet right after the moon, because the moon moves also very quickly. That's also why Cancers are very moody and changeable, but that's a whole different chat for the next video, right? But for Mars and Gemini placements in general, because Mercury moves so quickly, and that's why Mercury retrogrades also. I just want to talk about that. Mercury retrogrades because it moves so rapidly, right? And it always has to stay next to the sun. Because if you think about, even like, look at your own sun sign, you either have your Mercury sign is either the sign before your sun sign or after your sun sign, or is the actual same sign of your sun sign. But that's because it's the law. Mercury has to, Mercury has to rotate. Mercury rotates closest to the sun, so it always has to stay closest to the sun. So when Mercury moves too quickly, it begins to slow down and retrograde, because it has to slow down and then rethink about everything that it's just thought about. It's like the same with you. For example, if you've been partying too hard, fast every day, you have to take some time to chill out, and recuperate. So Mercury basically does that when it retrogrades, The same with other planets. Yeah. Every planet just has to slow down and recuperate and just kind of reflect on what the fuck happened. That's basically what a retrograde is, actually, if we think about it, When any planet retrogrades, it's basically like, that time in our lives also, like, when you've been working too hard, and you haven't slowed down, your body's tired. It's like, dude, we need to chill out. So then you just need to chill and slow down, take it easy, and then reflect on everything that just happened. You reflect on, the moves that you made. You reflect on, everything that was happening. It's the same as, like, when you guys, like, after a party the next day, you and your homies, you start like in the morning, you all hungover and shit like that. And then you all, like, outside in the patio, smoking cigarettes and just talking about, like, yo, chomi, last night was crazy, bruh. Last night I did this, you did this. So when the planets retrograde, they basically doing the same thing. They just taking some time off to just recuperate and reanalyze everything that they had just gone through before they jump into the next thing. So that's basically a retrograde, So Mercury is no exception too. But thing is, Mercury is super quick. It's faster than all the other planets except the moon, But anyway, with that being said, that's why I say Mercury's Mars and Gemini people, that's also a reason why they also can't slow down a lot of the times. And their passions are so scattered. Or they have one passion now. And unless they have, like, Taurus placements that help them ground themselves, because I know 2 people with this placement who are Taurus suns with a Mars and Gemini. No, 4 actually. Where it's like they and I think it's actually a lot better to have a Taurus something in your chart and then have a Mars and Gemini, because then at least your Taurus energy will help you, settle into a goal that you have, and then your Mars and Gemini just gives you many different ideas on how you can get to that goal, but you're still stuck on that one goal, as opposed to being a Gemini sun with, like, maybe an Aquarius or Libra moon, and then you have a Gemini Mars, and let's say you're also a Gemini Mercury. You see, then you just scattered, and then it's, like, difficult for you to really be grounded and hold in on a passion, on one particular passion, because You're always trying to do many different things. And once again, also as a Gemini moon, I know it's difficult for Gemini placements to just do one thing. Like we are literally wired to multitask. It's a thing for us to multitask, because that's the mental stimulation that Gemini energy needs. It needs to do many different things at once. Even, you know what I'm saying? Like, even for me, for example, I'm a Gemini moon, but this is still going to apply with Mars and Gemini people, because this is more so on your passion and this is what fuels you. For you, doing many different things, that's something that you're passionate about. You're passionate about multitasking. But as I was saying, is that it's like, for example, like let's say you just made food and you're gonna go sit down in your bed at a couch or whatever. You're not just gonna sit down and eat and do one thing at a time, as maybe a Capricorn would or a Scorpio would or a Taurus would, where you're focused, like you have tunnel vision focus. That's not Gemini energy at all, and that's our downfall as a all Gemini placements. That's our downfall, is that our eyes are like, we have eyes here, eyes here, eyes here, eyes here, eyes here, eyes here, and they're all just looking like we just like dissecting all kinds of information, which is also why Gemini placements get distracted so easily. It's so easy, mate, especially if you've got other air placements with this. But as I was saying, though, see, even now I got distracted. You see how this is something that you guys also go through. It's difficult to focus. It's also difficult to speak about one thing at a time. If a Gemini Mars had to get into a staring competition with like a Capricorn or a Scorpio, they would lose. You know why? Because by default, Gemini energy is easily distracted, bro. Easily. So easily distracted, And that's why it's difficult to be stable, because it's not only happening externally, but it's also happening internally too, But with you, it's more so a thing of, you're passionate about one thing, and then you learn all about it, and it's like, you're so super passionate about learning. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a passionate learner. You probably were you were the student in school where, as much as you got bored by school, because obviously, some periods are long. Like, I used to have hour-long periods in high school, like literally a whole hour. Obviously, we're going to get bored and distracted. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like other placements, like Capricorns, as I said, Taurus, Scorpio, even Libra, they can hold it, like they can focus, a lot longer. They can hold their focus a lot longer, but not a Gemini. A Gemini has the attention span of a fish. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I even forgot what I was saying. And also, it's another thing too. You guys can also be very forgetful, extremely forgetful people. And I'm sorry to say this, if you have a Gemini moon, if you have a Gemini moon or a Sagittarius moon with this, you're not reliable. Because I've noticed that Gemini Mars people are not reliable at all. Even with Taurus placements, because I've been with Taurus placement people who have a Gemini Mars, and niggas are not reliable at all. Unless maybe you're dating them, or unless you see them very often, like you're their bestie and you talk every day, or you're their mother or something, or brother, something, sibling, whatever. If you're like not really in the inner circle, and you're like a little bit, like you're a little bit in the outer layers of the inner circle, they're not going to be reliable. So all that shit about Tauruses being reliable, it's not going to apply to Tauruses with a Gemini Mars placement. And I'm speaking from experiences. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you may be watching this and you're from another place and you are reliable. Then that's great for you. But I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen it in 4 different people that they're not reliable. And I've also noticed that, especially with Mars and Geminis, because Gemini rules the hands, right? The hands and the mouth. But maybe not so the mouth. More so the words coming out of the mouth, the air coming out of your lungs, from your lungs, up your throat, out of your mouth. That's Gemini too. But also the hands, because, that's why sign language is a thing. You can speak with your hands because Mercury rules the hands. You know what I'm saying? So with that, mate, not only do you guys like to smoke, because I've also noticed a lot of Gemini Mars like to smoke because of this hand-mouth movement. I like to smoke too, but I'm a Gemini moon. But I'm also a Virgo, so that's a whole other thing. But with you guys, and I think maybe this is a thing with all Gemini placements, actually. Because I know it's Gemini suns, risings, moons. maybe not so much Mercury's, but I'll add Mercury there because Gemini is home there. Even Venus, yes, Venus's and Mars. Just if you have any Gemini placements in your big three and your little three, you definitely love to smoke, and cigarettes were probably something that you were indulgent in if you're not already indulgent in, but in any kind of smoking, because it's really just this thing. Like, this is a fun activity. And it's also nice because, like Gemini energy is restless and it can't really sit still because it's always going and it's not stopping. It's kind of like Aries, but it's just always like the minute you wake up, you're just thinking. You know what I'm saying? So this hand-mouth movement, excuse me, it's like a nice thing to fidget with, you know what I'm saying? Because that's Gemini energy can't really sit still. So if it's not thinking, it's talking. But if it's not talking, it's thinking a lot, But it's also like, that's why a lot of Geminis really can't sit still either, That's why these are the people who are prone to bumping their legs, because they always need to be moving something. And they'll also get mistaken for being a crackhead or a drug addict when people don't know that this is all Mercury. Mercury's doing this. Mercury's not making us sit still. Like, Mercury keeps bothering all of us, right? And so people really, I've also had this where people think, and because you're so Gemini placements are very prone to being a lot more thin. Obviously not with Taurus placements. If you have Taurus placements, then you will be a lot more thicker, but let's say if you're like Aries with this, you'll definitely, or if you have like this with a Gemini rising, especially Gemini rising or Gemini moon, if like your okay, no, I'm capping, because I have friends with this who are chappy with a Gemini moon. But I'll say mostly if you have a Gemini rising with conjuncting your Mars in Gemini, then you're definitely somebody who will be a lot more slim, skinny, and it'll be a lot more difficult for you to gain weight. It's easy for you to lose weight, and it's because your nerves are always, like, people with a lot of mercurial planets and energies, their nerves are very prominent in their life, and they feel life and they live life through their nerves. And this is also me speaking as a Virgo sun, I feel you guys. Everything is happening and you feel it in your nerves. Like, your nerves are very, what's the word? I guess sensitive. Let's call it sensitive for lack of a better word. You have sensitive nerves, right? So you feel life and you live life through your nerves. So when things make you feel angry, you feel it in your nerves, and then you feel it in your hands. You probably feel anger through your hands. And speaking of anger, your anger language, I can really feel this video is going up and down, but it's fine. It's thematic for this topic, but your hands, you may have really nice hands, actually. I think anyone with Gemini placements has really nice hands. That, and also, you're speaking about your anger language, right? So your anger language, you probably get angry and frustrated when people don't communicate to you, or when they're not being lighthearted, because Gemini, the sign, is a very lighthearted sign, right? And it doesn't really do heavy, dark shit, and if it does, then it's in and out. Just like the Sagittarius energy, in and out. Like, experience, learn, then you dip, and then you go do the same thing in your next experience, So a Gemini Mars, your anger language, or what makes you angry, is when people, first of all, don't know how to communicate quickly. You may really hate slow communicators, or people who don't make sense, or people who don't know how to, like, people who are slow to understand information, like, because you're so quick at learning, you're a very fast learner, very quick learner, right? So you may be frustrated when somebody doesn't understand you quickly, like, it may make you feel angry when you have to slow down your communication because you're so quickly, you may even be the type to finish people's sentences, which is very annoying. So annoying. And then not only that, but like, I feel like your anger language could also just be what makes you angry, is when people don't know how to just basically think as quick as you do. You like being around quick people who can match your pace because you're so quick. You understand things quickly, so you don't like when other people do that. And then when you are angry, obviously when your anger language will be mercurial, so you talk shit when you're angry. You get very fucking rude when you're angry. And don't let you have a Scorpio moon or Scorpio rising and then you're angry and then you out here hurting people's feelings and not caring how sharp your words are, because your words get really sharp. This is the darker side of the Gemini side. But yeah, when you're angry, you just talk shit. You talk shit. And also because Mercury was the hand, you could also want to use your hands to beat a bitch's ass. I know this maybe could be especially for the guys, but I think a girl would probably just slap you because that's a hand gesture. So I think Mars and Gemini women will be quick to slap you, and then Mars and Gemini men, they'll be quick to want to fight and use their hands to do that. Or they could also just slap you too. But yeah, those vibes. But definitely you guys talk shit when you're angry, like, and loudly. And oh my god, if you have like a Mars and a Mercury in Aries with this, so much shit. That's basically you when you're angry. You just talk shit, bruh. You just get really mean. You get super mean. But I think on the more like on another end, maybe you would like, that's like all you do. You just talk shit, but you don't do anything. So you tend to just use your words as your weapon, But words cut deep too. But that's your defense. But also, you could also just play mind games when you're mad. Like, you may plot. You may not necessarily talk shit. Like, you may not be like, bitch, fuck you. That's why whatever. You may just like decide, okay, I'm angry. So now I'm going to play mind games with you. And now I'm going to be happy to you now. And then tomorrow I'm going to wake you up and be the meanest person ever. And then talk shit. And then, I don't know, go in and out of my moods and say whatever I want to you. And then jump again and be nice to you and just play mind games and confuse you. Just da. That could be your anger language. Or ghost, because the air signs are gonna ghost, So you may just also ghost when you get angry, and then only talk shit about that person you ghosted to your friend, someone that you're familiar with. But that's you when you're mad. That's you when you're mad. But I actually haven't seen any of my friends get mad. Except one person. But they was talking shit though. They really talk shit. But yeah, you guys really know how to talk shit and confuse people. Just confuse. And Gemini energy, one thing about it, it's going to confuse people. It's going to confuse people. It's definitely going to confuse everybody. So you also may talk really, really fast too, especially if you have this conjuncting your Mercury in Gemini too. You may talk really, really fast. But it's also easy for you to understand other people who talk fast, You're not like you're not, you fast too. You get things very quickly. But yeah, guys, I think the example, like earlier, I wanted to tell you an example of what Gemini energy would do, and the example was like, if I'm gonna make a sandwich right now, I can't just eat my sandwich and just focus on eating my sandwich. Like, I have to be on my phone, and I'm also probably watching a series while I'm also like, looking for something, while I'm doing a whole bunch of things, because it's like you become passionate about multitasking, and you're just passionate about a whole bunch of different shit. You're passionate about many things. It's just the problem is seeing something through, seeing your passions through, because you may have one idea today and you be like, okay, I want to be a musician. And then you start off with music a little bit. And it's like always, it's always that part in the journey where you realize like, holy shit, this is going to require a lot more effort than I thought it would. And then it becomes like overwhelming in that sense for Gemini energy, realizing that, holy shit, this is going to be like, I have to be responsible for a lot, And then that's the thing that kind of makes you feel like, oh, okay, maybe not. Let's move on to the next thing, unless you have Capricorn placements. But I say that because, Gemini is in conjuncting Capricorn, meaning there's a misunderstanding with Capricorn and Scorpio energy. So Gemini struggle to understand how to A, take responsibility, be responsible. B, they misunderstand how to be cautious and careful of what they say, because that's something, Scorpios and Capricorns are very aware of. But because Gemini is in conjuncting those signs, Geminis have an unawareness of how to be cautious about what they say sometimes, especially when they start Geminiing. But also, Geminis have a misunderstanding of how to, hide things the way that Scorpios and Capricorns do. So Geminis also sometimes they may not know how to keep a secret. They may not know how to shut the fuck up. And that's because they misunderstand the Scorpio and the Capricorn energy. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. But yeah, that's Mars and Gemini. You guys are like super. You're passionate about learning. You're passionate about hanging out with your friends. You're passionate about having fun, really, and just interacting with people. Like this is the type of person who likes to go out. You like to party. You like to see how people are in group settings and how people interact in group settings and how you can adapt to that, and how you can formulate your own way of interacting that's going to be very similar to, what you learned from your external environment. So yeah, and I've noticed this with like two of my friends is that they mostly like to go to parties so that they can learn how to dance, because as once again, Gemini is so quick to learn about things, but they like to go to the clubs to learn how to dance and learn how to, like pick up a few moves so that they can practice at home. And then, when they come back to the next group, they know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody else no, I don't do that. But yeah, I think that's definitely something Geminis do. Maybe Leos also. Yeah. Geminis and Leo Mars do that. They like to learn how other people may express themselves and then, try to figure out a way how they can make it their own. The same way, like when you want to copy from your friends, like homework or whatever, but you're not going to write everything they wrote, like word for word. So then you just alchemize it in your own way. Mars and Gemini people, they learn from people in that way, and then they alchemize it in their own way. But this is why they're super intelligent, and they're passionate about being the jack of all trades. Because they have a whole bunch of interests, definitely, and I can speak with that too. I'm with you. I'm a Gemini moon. I'm with you, bro. But as I said in my post, like I posted this on Instagram, that as a Gemini placement, you can do it all. You just have to create time to do it all. So as I made the example is that, like, for example, let's say you want to be a fashion designer and you want to be a musician, but you also want to be I don't know a tech person, like you want to be into IT or something. So I made the example, like, for example, you can make this schedule, like on Monday you'll do IT, and then on Tuesday you do music, and then on Wednesday you do whatever, you do this, and then on Thursday. So it's just all about prioritizing and making time for all these things, because essentially that's gonna also fuel your passion too, when you can like scatter yourself into many different things, and not feel bored, because you'll have a whole bunch of things to pay attention to all the time. And even if you learn something new, you can add whatever you learned into one of the things that you're already into. You can just, and then I don't know, you're gonna already keep having ideas about things. So then you just take those ideas and then you put them in everything that you're already working on. So then that way you never really too scattered to the point where you never see anything through, and now you don't really accomplish anything, because it could be a thing with this placement where you just become a long lost hippie because you also don't know whether you're coming or going, or you just never know where you're at in life because you're very, very unstable. So yeah, that's the thing. That's the vibe, guys. But these are super funny, guys. It's just it just gets a little bit horrible, and I've seen it mostly with the guys. It gets really horrible because I know guys tend to go into their Mars sign when they're dating, and even with their friends. And I dated a guy with a Mars and Gemini, and the one thing that was really shitty was that mouth. Oh my god! And also, they like dirty talking, but I feel like not all Mars and Gemini people can dirty talk. But they like when other people can dirty talk them during sex. Because it's all about the mental. And Gemini energy just likes mental stimulation. So if you can stimulate their minds during the session, or after, before, during, whatever, if you get their minds, you basically have their hearts. Because for Mercury signs, their minds is their heart. They love with their mind. So if you can get into their mind, then you got them, bro. And if you're interesting, and you have something to teach them, and they can learn from you, you got them, bro. Then they'll be passionate about learning from you. and having fun with you and talking to you, you know. But definitely they can be some promiscuous ass motherfuckers because they're curious about a whole bunch of shit, curious about how other people do their life. You know, Gemini energy is always curiosity and trying to expand the palette, you know, of the mind and of their experiences. So if you can do that, you have them. Period. You have them for life. But yeah, with that being said, now we are going to jump into Gemini Mars in the houses. Gemini Mars in the first house. So, first house, you know, deals with your personality, your self awareness, the relationship that you have with yourself, and everything that you personally identify with, you know, such as people, you know, show, things, places, anything that you deem as something that you relate to personally and something that you can see as, yeah, this represents me, then that's your first house, you know, because that's just the house of self and as I said, the relationship that you have with yourself. Ooh. So with Mars in Gemini in the first house, you become passionate about your own personal interest. And the thing is, like, you may have a lot of interests, right? So you're passionate about like just interacting with those personal interests. And maybe, how do I say this? Like, not to say that you are close-minded to learning about what other people are interested in. Like, you'll sit there and, you know, listen to somebody talk, but it's always going to be a situation where you're going to relate everything that they're saying back to your own personal interests, you know? Because, like, I feel like with this placement, it's a situation where you're passionate about communicating about your own interests. You are passionate about communicating everything that you're personally interested in and everything that you learned. You know, it's like you like to teach also with this placement, I feel. You like to teach everybody about things that you've learned. And also, you're a very quick learner, you know, because a lot of your identity is all about, like, you know, how smart you are and communicating. You're also definitely an aggressive communicator with this, you know, very aggressive. Could also sound like you're fighting or you're instigating a fight, which probably you are, because it's mental stimulation for you, you know. But yeah, I feel like with this placement, you're just passionate about communicating about your own personal interests, you know, and you can talk someone's ear off about everything that you like, you know. You're like, oh my god, I love the way, let's say you're into, I don't know, it's Stranger Things, for example, right? Like, if you really like Stranger Things and you're a big hardcore fan of Stranger Things, the same way, you know, there's big time Harry Potter fans. In fact, let's even use Harry Potter. Let's say you're like a big time Harry Potter fan. You know, you would love to talk about Harry Potter all fucking day. And if somebody had to come and start talking to you about something else, you'll sit there and listen, but then you'll, you know how to divert the conversation so that you talk about everything that you're interested in once again, because that's what you're passionate about, you know, your personal interest, your own relationship, your personal relationship that you have with everything that relates to you, you know. But yeah, you also just maybe like your personality may be slightly aggressive also, you know, because you also have a lot of nervous energy with this Gemini rising, you know, very constant still type of person, you know. And also, as I said, probably very slick at school. You were the type of person you were the one who wasn't afraid to ask questions, you know, because obviously in school there's different types of people. There were people who were super quiet, people who didn't really pay attention, people who were always late. But you, as a Mars and Gemini person in the first house, I feel like you were the student that liked to ask questions and be like, ma'am, what do you mean by that? You know, especially if it was like a subject that you were really, really interested in. You were very curious in that subject and you wanted to know everything, and you were passionate about learning about everything that you could about that subject, you know. So that's the same energy that you bring in your own personal life and learning about things that you are personally interested in. You know, you get super passionate about learning all of those things, because in a way it makes you feel good about yourself. You know, that it's like you're motivated, like you motivate yourself to learn. You know, you're a self-motivated student. but only with topics and subjects that you're personally interested in, because if it's not something that you're interested in, then that's when you start to daydream, and you start to you lose focus quicker, you don't really pay attention, and then you fail that grade. And then some people may think you're done with this, but it's really not. It's see, with Gemini energy, it's always a situation where they're more focused. And I've noticed this also with myself, like they're more focused if something really interests them, then they can then they become like Libras. Then a Gemini becomes a Libra when they can direct all their energy into a topic, and learn all they can about it. But if they don't, then it's just like it comes and it goes, one out out one ear, in one ear and out the other. That you don't really care too much about learning about what you just learned about from school if you're not interested in it. So yeah, that's Mars and Gemini in the first house, people. Super smart people, very passionate learners, but they can talk over you. They're gonna talk over you, especially if you're talking about shit that they don't care about. They're gonna talk over you, so work on that, bro. So yeah, moving on to Mars and Gemini in the second house. So second house deals with your values and things that you deem as valuable to you, and those valuables are usually possessions. So second house also rules possessions and things that you hold, things that you have, things that you can hold, because you have them. So having Mars and Gemini in the second house, Mars obviously does not like Gemini. I mean, does not like the second house. So with Mars and Gemini here, you guys are passionate about. I feel like you guys, first of all, you guys value your friends. Let's start there. This is what Mars and Gemini. Yeah, Aries rising. You guys very much value your friends, right? I'm even going to say this with the third house. No, but not the third house. But let me just say this. With Mars in Gemini in the second house, you value your friends, right? Because you have Gemini in your second house, So you definitely value your friends with this. As a Gemini in the second house, you have Taurus rising. You value your friends and you value your friendships, and you also value your siblings, right? So I feel like all that energy, that communication is all directed into your values with your siblings. So you may only like to communicate with your siblings, or you may only like to, you're passionate about interacting with your friends and your siblings and having relationships with them where each of you guys materialistically support each other, because you may feel like you can't really do anything without your friends, or it kind of makes like a codependent Gemini Mars here, where you feel like your support comes from your friends, and then you get fueled and you're passionate about being assisted from your friends. You know what I'm saying? So these are the type of people where, like, for example, if it was a Mars and Aries, and let's say they were a performer, like a Mars and Aries, let's say I'm a Mars and Aries, and both of us are musicians. Like, you're a Mars and Gemini and in the second house, and I'm a Mars and Aries in whatever house. The difference between you and me is that if we were both performers and musicians, the difference between us is that I would still perform and I would still feel confident enough to, motivate myself, even if I just came to that performance alone. Like, I didn't come with my mom to support me, I didn't come with my sister or my friends, nothing. I just came alone. As a Mars and Aries, I can fully support myself and not feel like, oh my god, I'm alone, and oh my god, I can't do this because my mom isn't chill, my dad isn't chill. No, you see. But you as a Mars and Gemini, you feel like in order for you to officially persist in your goals, you feel like you need the support of your friends. You feel like you need the support of your siblings to be there for you and cheer you on, and they usually are the ones that are like probably keeping you on track, like, yo dude, come on, remember to be consistent with this one thing, that type of thing. So it's like it builds a dependency with this placement. There's a dependency where, as I said, like, you feel like you need to have your friends and your siblings to support your passions. You need to have your friends and your siblings to motivate you to keep going. Otherwise, then you're not consistent yourself. You don't consistently do things yourself. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Those vibes. But yeah. That's Mars and Gemini in the second house. You guys feel like you need your friends and your siblings to support you and support your passions in order for you to consistently, be passionate about something. Otherwise, you also may feel like you need to, before you attack your goals, you feel like you need to first study them so that you have the knowledge about something before you go and pursue a goal. Before you go and pursue a goal, rather than just like going for it and just having the passion and the conviction to just go for it and be like, we'll see what happens when we get there, or we'll learn on the way. No, that's not you. Mars and Gemini in the second house people, they feel like they have to learn so that they have information first before they do something, before they attack their goal. But even still then, they feel like they still need their friends and their siblings to support them. So yeah, that's Mars and Gemini in the second. So now we're going to move on to Mars and Gemini in the third house. So this is a double emphasis on the Gemini energy. Because Gemini is ruled by the third house. It's birthed out of the third house the third house, said housed, but yeah, birthed out of the third house. So as I said, the third house rules your familiarities, things, people, and places that you are familiar with, and things, people, and places that you interact with very regularly, and that you attend regularly, because you can attend school regularly, grocery store, the engine garage, hair salon, whatever, if it's part of your neighborhood, and it falls part of your third house. So yeah, with Gemini, Mars in the third house as an Aries rising, this just makes you even more unstable. But just like the second house, go back a little while and watch the Mars in the second house, because it's similar to these vibes where you're passionate about, your passions come from the support of your friends. But maybe not so much like the second house, because you may not necessarily feel like you can only do things with the people that you've officially formed a bond with from your environment. I think with this Mars and Gemini in the third house, you become passionate about the things that your friends are passionate about. And then in that sense, you start to adapt to your friends' passions. And then you, in a way, because you're interacting with your homies, you guys can all work on something together. And then you become passionate about, assisting in your friend groups, But yeah, I feel like with this, it makes you a lot more adaptable to, I guess, being passionate. Like, your passions will come from what your friends are passionate about, So if your friends have similar goals, like life goals, like let's say you're in a group of friends and one of them wants to be an IT guy and one of them wants to be an engineer, that'll kind of fuel you and you'll adapt to them. And then you'll probably be passionate about being I don't know, like into tech or something, because all of them, they kind of align, IT, engineering, it's all dealing with computers and gadgets. And also air signs deal with gadgets and computers. So I wouldn't also be surprised if you were into IT with this, or into, anything using electronics, computers specifically, in order for you to communicate, but definitely this also adds a double emphasis on you being passionate about talking, because you may talk a lot and you're passionate about that, but mostly you just talk so fucking much. Oh my god. And if you're a guy with this, I don't even doubt that, you're someone that doesn't like monogamy. You don't really like monogamy, and that may not make sense to you, because monogamy may make you feel bored unless you're also dating a woman with a Gemini moon or Gemini Venus with this, or Gemini rising, or Libra, Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising, Aquarius Venus, Aquarius Mercury too, or even Aquarius sun. As long as they have some air signs to keep you mentally stimulated, then that's Ayoba. But if they don't, you're just gonna be bored, because I feel like with this placement, it's just a thing of boredom, so if something's not passionately stimulating you, then it gets you really bored. And then just like an Aries Mars, you jump into the next thing that's gonna stimulate you, but mentally though. With Aries, it's more so energetic stimulation, passion stimulation. With air signs, it's always what? The mental, your corp, your cerebral, your medulla oblongata. It's always that. So, but yeah, with this, I feel like you're just constantly stimulated by that. So you are someone who, I feel like at school, you were the super smart person. Like if you're a guy or even a girl, you talk a lot, you're probably very disruptive in class. Oh my god. But you're smart and you probably get really good grades. But that's just your your downfall is that you cannot shut the fuck up. Class clown, yes. Witty, yes. Foolish, yes. Funny, probably. Quiet, hell no. Hell no. Especially if you have this conjuncting your Mars, your Mercury. If it's conjuncting your Mercury in Gemini in the third house, oh my god. Oh my fucking god. I don't even doubt that you probably could sleep. You could, talk in your sleep also. But I feel like that's also more so, Gemini in the 12th house or the 4th or even the 8th, all the water houses. Those are the sleep talkers. But yeah, that's Mars and Gemini, guys. Mars and Gemini in the third house. You're just passionate about talking and learning. But as I said, your passions stem from, adapting in your friend groups, But if not your friends, but because definitely you're passionate about being around your friends. Like you probably have a very tight, or maybe not tight, but you have friends, your brothers and sisters that aren't really your brothers and sisters, but you've been friends with them for so long that they are your brother and sister. So it's like they motivate you, and learning from them, that motivates you and motivates your decision making, because whether you know it or not, your friends actually do influence a lot of your decision making. So if your friends are doing drugs, then you'll be passionate about adapting to what your friend group is doing. So with this placement, be careful, bro. Also forgot to mention that with this placement, you probably fight a lot more with your friends. So now we're going to move on to Mars and Gemini in the 4th house, right? For all the Pisces rising. So we know 4th house, rules your house, your domestic situations and taking care of domestic situations. Domestic meaning home duties, the 4th house rules your family, your childhood memories, the things that you're still emotionally connected to from your childhood. So this could also be traditions, things that you learned from your mom and your dad and your grandma and grandpa and people that you essentially learned from, emotionally absorbed from. Because 4th house is just emotional connections. Anything that you're emotionally tied to by blood or by emotions feels part of your 4th house, even surnames are a 4th house thing. So yeah, with Gemini in your 4th house, also Mars does not like being in the 4th house, so with Gemini being in your 4th house, you become passionate about, your passions are hidden from anybody that isn't your friend. Let's start there. Anyone that isn't, only your friends know your passions, and your family members know your passions. Or, when I say your friends, I mean, your friends that have essentially become like family, because you grew up with them since you were born, or since you were in grade 3, since you were in grade 7. I don't know. As long as you have an emotional bond with them, then they are part of your family, You know what I mean? Like your homies. So only they know. With Mars and Gemini in the 4th house, only they know what you're passionate about. And you don't like to tell anybody that isn't your friend or your family members or someone that you're emotionally comfortable. They don't know what you're passionate about. So it could be a situation where even though maybe for example, let's say you're at school. I feel like with this placement, you're probably someone that only wants to hang out with your friends. And the exception would maybe be you wouldn't mind hanging out with people that are friends of your friends, because that's still maybe you would have a little bit more trust. Because we have to realize anything dealing with the water houses, it's always going to have a secretive energy towards it, or a discomfort of exposure, or a discomfort of being open, because the water houses are meant to be secretive, private. They're private houses, but that's how it needs to be. So with having Mars in this private area of your life, aka your 4th house, your passions become hidden, and they are only revealed to people that you are close to, people that you've built emotional bonds with. So it's a situation where with you become angry when your family members or your friends tell other people about, private matters, or when your friends and your family members or your siblings when they start to expose information, because it's still Gemini, right? When they expose information about you to people who are not close to you, that'll make you angry, and then that'll make you, talk your shit to your family members, But you basically just passionate, like in terms of your passion, I feel like you're passionate about communicating with your family members. You're passionate about forming emotional connections through talking with all your family members and learning from your family members. But I feel like with this, it probably make you like someone who's into art, a photographer. Where you probably have like a private page, maybe, and you're Pisces rising with this. So yeah, you could definitely. So then your Mars would oppose your 10th house. Interesting. But yeah, with this placement, I feel like you would just definitely be somebody that, has a private account, and you only expose your talents to people that you're close to, and then only once they support you and then they start being like, oh my god, baby, you're so good, why don't you like start selling your art, or you should probably start go public with that. Only once you have the support of your family members, then you'll go public. But if you don't have that, then it'll take a lot longer for you to feel comfortable with exposing your passions. Because your passions, I feel like you could be you're just passionate about anything that you're emotionally connected to. But I feel like, once again, nobody knows, like anyone that isn't your friend or your family member, they don't know what you're passionate about. All they'll see is just someone who either talks a lot, but when you do talk to people, or if you even do talk to people, it's like still lighthearted things that are far away from, how you really feel, because you also may hide how you really, as I said, how you really feel, but in terms of how you feel about your passions, So when people do interact with you, they just see another part, like they see your other twin, not the twin that's hiding, that type of situation. But yeah, as far as you getting mad, like your anger is more so directed towards your family members and your friends, and then they're the ones that get all that heat, all that mental heat from you, you know. And then people who are not your family members, you probably just talk shit about. Like, for example, if you just met somebody at a bar and then they disrespected you, you won't outwardly direct that person at the bar. You'll just go home and vent to your family members about everything that happened to you at the bar, because you're comfortable with expressing that anger to your family members. So you may not be so comfortable expressing your anger to strangers, unless your family members fuel you to be angry and go direct that anger to somebody else, but it's still going to stem from family. Like, you're very motivated by your family members, basically, and your friends and anyone that you're emotionally connected to. So those vibes. And then yeah, moving on to Mars and Gemini in the 5th house for all the Aquarius risings. So 5th house, rules your hobbies, your entertainment, because I feel like hobbies are a fun thing that we all do. That's why we say, what do you do for fun? We just say, well, what's your 5th house? Basically, that's what it is. But yeah, 5th house rules your hobbies, how you have fun and enjoy yourself, your entertainment, casual dating, because that's fun. Casual hookups too, if we could count that in, because that could be fun, anything that's just enjoyable, really, and self-expression, creative self-expression, rather. So with Gemini, Mars and Gemini in the 5th house, you become passionate about communicating, but in a dramatic way. So I feel like this is definitely the placement of the comedian, because you're an Aquarius rising, and I know a lot of Aquarius risings that are really funny. You become passionate about expressing yourself through words. So as I say, this is definitely the placement of the comedian. Also, super smart person. Like, how to tell a story in a very weird, quirky way, and that's entertaining. But you're passionate about, like, you may not have necessarily been the person that was good at learning if something wasn't fun, because you like to. But looking at your house lord is also important, because then that'll show us what exactly you enjoy learning, and what exactly you enjoy, because it's still enjoying, but you still are passionate about learning. You're just passionate about learning about things that are entertaining to you. So this could be, well, it's like learning is fun to you, but as long as it's fun, as long as the subject itself is a fun subject, or something that you deem as fun. So if you think, accounting is fun, then you're going to be passionate about learning everything about accounting, because that's going to be enjoyable to you, you know. But I don't think it's going to be accounting, yeah, with this, unless your house lord is in like what, like in an earth house. Like if your house lord is in the 12th house of Capricorn with this, then maybe. But if not, so this is definitely somebody who has like, you'll enjoy learning about how to be like a potter, like making, like being into pottery. You'll enjoy doing that. If you're into mathematics, you'll enjoy learning about mathematics, and learning how to kind of switch things up and make it even more fun to teach, because you may be, if you're a teacher with this, then you're a super fun teacher with this. If you're a mom with this, then you're a super fun mom that knows how to say things in a fun way or some shit like that. Very dramatic, loud as fuck also when you communicate, but very funny, man. I feel like with this placement you're super funny, but when you do get angry, I think the only thing that would make you angry is if somebody had to tell you to shut the fuck up. That's really what it is, like, because you have fun talking shit, talking whatever you want. That's your enjoyment, you have fun communicating. So if somebody had to tell you to shut the fuck up, then they're kind of killing the vibe, they're killing the fun for you, so then that'll make you angry, and then that's when you'll feel like you need to talk shit. But then the way you talk shit is also in a funny way, so it's kind of hard to take you seriously, actually. Sometimes it's really difficult to take you seriously because you always sound like you're joking, especially if you have this conjuncting your Mercury too. You just always sound like you're joking, unless of course you have Scorpio placements, then, or Capricorn placements, then it's different, but generally you just, and if you have an Aries moon, or even worse, because then you really always sound like you're joking, and people really don't take you seriously. And even when you are super serious, there's always like still that thing in somebody's, the back of their mind of, okay, you might be joking, or maybe they want to laugh, you know what I'm saying, something like that. But yeah, and then your what was I gonna say? Yeah, that's actually it. That's all I wanted to say with this placement. But generally, yeah, super chill person and funny, but if somebody had to tell you when to speak and how to express yourself through your communication, then you'll probably ghost that person. Definitely gonna ghost that person, no lie. So yeah, now we're gonna move on to Mars in Gemini in the 6th house. So 6th house, rules your day-to-day daily habits. It rules your body, your health, and it rules your habits, really. 5th house is hobbies, 6th house is your habits, and if you think about habits, habits really affect our bodies, and they affect our health, and they also affect our schedules, our daily schedules. If, for example, if you smoke weed every day, that's a habit, and it's going to affect your body because, it gets you high and shit like that. And then there's long-term effects with that, the short-term effects that affects your body, but it also affects your productivity, and productivity stems under the 6th house, because 6th house is what we use and the energy that we use to handle things in our daily lives. So if something is fucked up in our 6th house, it's going to kind of stop our lives, in a way. And then we have to pay attention on how we can alleviate, I think that's the word, whatever is in our way of handling our day-to-day tasks. But as I said, your habits, they affect your body, they affect your schedule, because if you're smoking weed and you get too high, you can't work no more, right? Then it affects your productivity. So with that being said, having Mars in the 6th house, that makes you passionate for what? The Capricorn risings. You become passionate about, organizing your daily routines and schedules. But the thing is, with Gemini in the 6th house, your schedules change very often. Very, very often. But your schedules and your day-to-day life always involves you being around your friends or you being around people, but mostly your friends. Like, you are literally always somebody with their friends, or you're always talking to your friends, but you always have friends, which is really, really nice. You have friends and you always are around a group of people and you're always interacting, so you become passionate about, handling your task and going about your day with your friends. You're passionate about, interacting with your friends and including them in your daily routines and including them in your daily habits, but your friends are also the reason why you have specific habits. So you probably, if you're, obviously around a group of friends that are stoners, you're most likely going to also be a stoner. If you're around a group of friends that are skater boys, skater chicks, you're going to essentially adapt that too. If you're around a group of people that are a group of friends that are super artsy, then you're going to adapt to that shit too. But you're definitely just passionate about doing things with your friends, or doing things with people that you're familiar with, and interacting with your environment, and just basically people and things that you're familiar with. That's something that you are passionate about. But yeah, that's the vibe with this. Also passionate about your health. And I think what makes you angry is if, somebody tries to tell you or tries to organize your daily life for you, your daily schedules for you. Because you may not necessarily mind when things switch up in your daily life. Like, that doesn't matter to you. And you also, for example, let's say you plan something with your friends. You don't mind last minute things. You don't mind a bit of spontaneity in your day. But what you do mind is somebody telling you, or somebody trying to organize your daily life for you, someone trying to take over your life for you. That'll make you mad, and then that'll fuel you to be like, bruh, I don't fucking need your help. Okay, I don't want your help, in fact. So you best go on and leave me the fuck alone. You don't like anybody trying to control your daily routines, because yes, they may be scattered, but you may not actually mind that, as long as you know that you're with your homies. Or even like, you may even be pissed at your homies if they maybe cancel plans on you, because as I said, you're passionate about doing things with your friends. So what will make you mad is if your friends kind of bail on you, something like that. But with Gemini energy, everything is so wishy-washy. So it can either be you the one bailing, and then your friends are mad at you because you're always bailing, or you mad at your friends because they're always bailing, shit like that. Yeah, that's your anger language. But your anger language with this, I feel like, yeah, it's just same shit. You just talk a lot of shit because sixth house is a Mercury house. This is the Virgo house. Virgo's ruled by Mercury. So with these placements, you just become very passionate about, as I said, your routines and how to mentally organize your day-to-day tasks, and how you can include your friends in there, because part of your day-to-day tasks is to interact with your homies. So we're gonna move on now to Mars in Gemini in the seventh house. Seventh house is the house of Libra, the house of relationships, partnerships. And by relationships, I mean all kinds of relationships, but the kind of intimate bond that you have in those interactions. Because you guys would have known each other, or you maybe are in the process of knowing each other. So yeah, the seventh house rules, relationships, partnerships, business partnerships, and just how you relate on a one-on-one basis with people. So having your Mars and Gemini in the seventh house, this is let me tell you something. For what the Sagittarius risings. Oh my good. Both genders, guys, let me tell you something. This person, yeah, this is the placement of a cheater, of a polyamorous person. Because first of all, we've got Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. It's mutable, right? Mutable meaning many, right? Many of what? Seventh house. Many relationships. Many partnerships, okay? Many people in their lives. And one thing about Mars does not like being in the seventh house. So with this, it becomes a situation where you become, your passions are also fueled by the support that you get from your relationships. And it's double emphasis now because it's Gemini and it's the seventh house. And both of these are air ruled. They are air ruled, right? So what this entails, my dudes, is that you become passionate about getting support from many different people. And if you don't get support from if you don't get the support that you thought you would get from one particular partner, then you have a couple dozen other partners to support you. right? But there's the thing, because it's still Mars and it's still the seventh house. That's where the issues come from. The fights that you have in your relationships is because you're always in many relationships. But here's the thing too, is that your anger language, or what makes you angry, is when one particular relationship or interaction that you have with one person tries to tell you not to have other relationships, because you feel like you're passionate about being free to interact with many different people, right? But then the thing that makes you angry is when other people try to, I guess, claim you, or try to put you in a cage, or I guess, yeah, claim you as their own, and then kind of get possessive. You don't like that. That makes you angry. Possessiveness makes you angry. And then it makes you want to ghost even more, you know? So I feel like a situation that you might face in your relationships is having some possessive people, people who like to either mentally manipulate you, or you are the one that's always mentally manipulating people in your relationships so that you can blind somebody and then in the back do naughty things. So then even your anger language, when you are angry, you probably cheat. you probably That's your anger language. You cheat, especially when you're in relationships. Because you see, with Mars and Gemini, you're going to be passionate about having relationships, intimate relationships, dating relationships, casual relationships. So when somebody makes you mad in any other relationships, you cheat, even if it's with your friends, Like you may ditch your friend just to go hang out with another friend and then talk shit about your friend. So this is also the dark part, where it's like you may talk, you just talk shit. Like once again, Gemini is going to talk shit. So the way that you retaliate is also by talking shit. If it's not to that person's face directly, then it's to another friend, So you definitely the two-faced motherfucker with this shit. Like you get stimulated and motivated by your relationships. Like you like when people that you're in relationships with, encourage you. Because you really won't do anything without the encouragement of your friends or of the people that you're in relationships with, or of the relationships that you have. Because that's where your passion stems from. So this is also a bit of a difficult placement because you become kind of dependent on people to feel you, and bump at you like, yeah, friend, you can do it. Because without that, then you probably wouldn't do it. Like it'll make you overthink everything without having the support of people telling you, yes, bitch, do that. Yeah. Yeah. Like you'll feel a bit afraid to do it. You'll feel like, oh no, I can only do this if I have the support of my peeps, and without your peeps, then you won't do it. So this also makes you someone that's you're a people person, could also be a people pleaser, but not so much to the extent if it was like Venus here. If it was Venus and Gemini in the 7th house, then that was like that placement makes you extremely dependent on people. But also with Mars, But this is more so your passions, because as I said, your passion is in the hands of the support of other people. So you may find it difficult to motivate yourself, But yeah, that's it with this placement. So we move on to Mars and Gemini in the 8th house for all the Scorpio risings. So, okay, Mars likes to be in the 8th house, because the 8th house represents sex, death, intimacy, inheritance, shared values, your secret desires, your secret desires, your secrets, and the skeletons under your closets, the shitty things that you've done in your life that you don't tell anybody, only the people, or not even anybody, could be somebody you're close to or nobody at all, just you and your ancestors, basically. 8th house also rules ancestral shit, and how you interact with your ancestors privately and how you connect with your ancestors privately. So with Gemini in the 8th house, mate, it's a situation where, like, see, because it's still Gemini, even just having Gemini in your 8th house, this makes you very curious about sex. You're curious about learning about taboo subjects, talking about sex and taboo subjects, and obviously anything dealing with the 8th house or Scorpio or Pluto. These are unrelatable houses and planets and things, These are Pluto, 8th house, Scorpio. It's just when they begin to interact, there's just something inside of them that triggers the rest of the sign. But that's only because it's unrelatable. It's not like Venus. Venus is all about relating and harmonizing with the energies of everybody. But Mars is not about harmonizing, you know, especially when we get into the eighth house, you know, it's not necessarily a nice house to have. Like it's how do I say this? Like if it's not the place and the time, doing eighth house shit is not our way. It's not Ayoba. It's the same like with walking around naked, like and people seeing your genitals. You know, genitals are very eighth housey, Plutonian, Scorpionic, very taboo. And the reason why we don't wear clothes and the reason why we don't show off our vaginas and they're so always in the dark is because they're meant to only be seen at a specific time, aka sex or, you know, when you're showering or shit like that, you know? They're only meant to be seen in private. It's all about a private thing. So when you are a Gemini and you're in the eighth house and you keep talking about all these things, you obviously you like induce making people feel uncomfortable unless they are also about those vibes, you know. But yeah, as I was saying, like anything dealing with the water houses, everything has to stay hidden. Everything has to be locked behind closed doors. Otherwise, it's not going to be received very well. And then this is going to be the reason why people hate you. People demonize you and all that shit. Dehumanize you or overly sexualize you. And then all those not nice things happen, you know. All because you didn't know to keep shit behind closed doors, you know. So, with having Gemini in your eighth house, you become curious about taboo subjects, about the occult, about, you know, hidden mysteries, you know, and you become curious about other people who are mysterious too, other people who seem interesting and all like dark and shit, you know. But having Mars and Gemini in the eighth house, you are passionate about learning about your own secret desires and talking about your own secretive desires, you know, especially to your friends. Like, only your friends know how fucked up you can be, you know, how nasty you are, or how dark your mind is. Yeah, like only your friends know, and you only talk about this with your friends or someone that you're trying to, you know, date or something. Because I had a homie with this placement. Well, like they have a Scorpio rising, and they have like a Gemini, I think Venus or Mercury, but they have a Gemini something. And like when I first met them, like they didn't really talk much. There was not that many, not that much communication, you know. And then when they eventually opened their mouths, I said, "Girl, damn! Like I don't even know you that well. Why are you telling me about the crazy shit you've done in your life?" I'm looking at them like, "Bruh, what?" Don't do that. But you know why? They didn't know that it wasn't the place all the time, and we weren't close enough for them to, you know, establish that communication with me, you know. But as I was saying, with this placement, you only become, you know, passionate about communicating about the taboo only to your friends, because it's still Gemini, you know. Gemini is the friend sign. But you still be secretly freaky. You're the type to, you know, have secret, not secret, may not be a secret, but yeah, you secretly want to have sex with all your friends, you know, but just as a way, because you're curious. You're just curious to know, like, I wonder what sex with you would be like. 'Cause it's actually very lighthearted, and it's still like a situation where you're stimulated by smart people, people who have an opinion, people who know how to articulate themselves, people who mentally stimulate you. Like, that's what sexually arouses you, you know. It's a lot more, especially during sex. And you're probably the one that really knows how to dirty talk, and it could also kind of be intimidating sometimes. Excuse me. Especially if you're like around someone who's not used to that, obviously, you know. But yeah, with this placement, bruh, my dude, my bruh, you are definitely, you know, when you open your mouth, it's just like, wow. But you're passionate about this. You're passionate about learning about the taboo and communicating this and then teaching other people about the taboo, you know. So it doesn't even have to be like about scary shit. It could also just be astrology, because astrology is pretty much taboo. It's a taboo subject, you know. Anything esoteric and things that we don't communicate so much out in the world. Even though astrology and the esoteric is a lot more broad and a lot more acceptable now, you know, like certain things are still like kind of like, whoa, bro, keep that to yourself, you know. But you like talking about these things. Like, you like to talk about things that other people feel like should be kept in the dark, you know, that type of situation. So yeah, that's you. And you're also very like, I think you don't mind being promiscuous with this placement, because you will feel like, yeah, you know, this is what this is what it takes for me to learn how to really have sex, because you may be somebody that really wants to learn everything there is to know about having sex and about sex and different, definitely giving pansexual vibes basically. And if you watch, I'm watching Girlfriends right now, and when I think about this placement, it makes me think of Lynn, and how she's very promiscuous, you know so yeah, this is definitely that same placement where you don't mind having sex with a bunch of people because you feel like, you're just curious. It's like more of a curious thing, yeah, and just an experience, because you also may be someone that fucks them and dips, you just in and out of a situation, in and out of a sexual love affair or something like that, and if you're not, then you're just interested about knowing about sex and death, and just learning about all the taboo shits, bro. It's really just that. It's really just that. So yeah, with that, we're gonna move on to Mars in Gemini in the ninth house. So ninth house, rules religion, spirituality, universities, because that's higher education, or even college to a large degree, but any education outside of high school, it rules travel, overseas travel, whereas third house rules provincial travels, state travels, whatever you call that, whatever. But yeah, like just short term travels, that's the third house. But the ninth house is long term travels, traveling overseas and then getting to know and learn and experience, because ninth house rules experiences about different cultures. Ninth house also rules culture, the cultures of the world and the traditions of the world, and the wisdom that we learn from cultures and those traditions and those religions and those spiritual practices. Because if you look at most cultures, they all have a tradition and they all have a specific spiritual system that they follow, so that's the ninth house, you guys. So having Mars in Gemini in the ninth house as a Libra rising, you are somebody that is passionate about learning about different cultures. So you definitely, and even languages, because culture comes with language. So with Gemini in the ninth house, you're passionate about learning about other people's languages, and you're very quick to learn other people's languages. Definitely somebody who can speak, like who's bilingual, multilingual, in fact. And you're passionate about these things. You're passionate about learning about other people's cultures, other people's traditions, other people's religious beliefs. You may not necessarily stick to one specific belief. You may not have like one specific belief that you have, because you may be the types to be like, well, I understand why all these religions and cultures and traditions and spiritual practices do what they do, and you may feel like, okay, I understand the broad philosophical and like point of why people even have a culture and stuff like that, but you will just probably leave it at that. And then because your passion really just stems from just learning about cultures, and it could be a situation where you may not necessarily travel, but even where you are, the area that you live in probably has a lot of people from different areas of the world who teach you about their cultures. So that's what you fuck with, and that fuels you. Like you're fueled and motivated by learning about traditions and cultures, and having a broad way of thinking and intellectualizing the experiences that you've been through and the wisdom that you've gained through asking people questions about, oh, you're Spanish, so what are the Spanish traditions? What are the Spanish traditions and cultures? And what do the Spanish people do? Where do the Spanish people originate? Or where do the Latin people originate? Shit like that. You'll be very curious to know about those type of things, and your anger language will come from. Your anger language will mostly come from. How would you be angry? I feel like what makes you angry is if somebody would be narrow-minded. Like narrow-minded people make you angry, and they make you feel like, oh my god, you're so rigid. You don't know how to open your mind up and be willing to understand or listen to another person's perspective. Gross. That makes you angry. And then how you would retaliate would probably to educate. You would be like, oh my god, you're so stupid. Did you know that in Namibia, Africa, these people that, what I'm saying? That's how you get angry. You start to educate, and then talk shit like that. Those vibes. So yeah, moving on to Mars and Gemini in the 10th house now. Mars and Gemini in the 10th house, people. 10th house represents your career, your reputation, the long-term goals you're working towards. And what else? Your general goals, really. Long-term goals that you're working towards, and the reputation that you get from working towards those goals, those vibes. So anyway, having Mars and Gemini in the 10th house, Mars loves to be in the 10th house so fucking much, but it's still Gemini here. So you may be known for Virgo rising. So I've noticed that a lot of Gemini 10th house people are usually into fun things. Like I know people with Virgo risings who have Gemini 10th house, and they are DJs. They work at clubs, they're a musician and shit like that. So you may be known for that. You may be known for being a DJ. You may be known for being a bartender or something like that. But like your reputation is more so surrounded around being with people. That goes for all air 10th houses, Taurus risings, Capricorn rising, and Virgo risings with Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius in their 10th house. Your reputation is stemmed around being a lot of people. And you also have air in your 6th house. So on a daily basis, you're always around people. So you get to work with people a lot. So then that's how you build your reputation. But I feel like with Gemini in the 10th house, like, yes, you're passionate about, working with people and doing fun, entertaining things for people. Because, being a DJ, you're playing music for people. Bartending, you're making drinks for people. Making music, you're making music for people. So whatever it is that you do, it's for the people. For the peeps that you're familiar with. And you're usually helped by, like, wherever you work, that's for the people, whether you're a DJ, whether you're a bartender, whether you're, and mind you, I'm saying all these things because these are people, like, I know people who are DJs, bartenders, etc., with Virgo rising, Gemini in the 10th house, and they're known for doing these things. We even call, like, for example, let's say you are my friend and your name is Ashley. We like, yeah, Ashley, the girl who's a DJ who works at that, and that's her reputation, that's her thing. So yeah, with Mars and Gemini in the 10th house, whatever it is that you're into, because you're probably into a lot of artsy shits, musicians, bartending, DJing, art, you're known for creating those things because it's still Gemini and it rules the hands. And Gemini, the hands really do a whole bunch of things for us, and many things. So you may also be known for doing many different things, and you're passionate about having a career, and you're passionate about working towards people talking about you in a way where they describe you as somebody who does so many things, and you do them very well because your goal is to perfect all those different things that you do, and your Virgo rising also definitely helps you, but also makes you anxious as fuck. I know, baby, I get you. But oh yeah, so yeah, with Mars and Gemini in the 10th house, like, with all Mars in the 10th house, you're just passionate about having a reputation in a career. But with Gemini, you just may have a lot of careers, So it may be at first, if you don't work on yourself and work on this shit, on this Gemini shit, you just may be known as somebody. Your reputation may be somebody who's flaky. People may know you. Your reputation may be someone who is flaky. Your reputation may be somebody who is unreliable, unpredictable. Someone who's very sociable, though, like, a whole bunch of people, and it's very easy for you to familiarize yourself with a whole bunch of people. But as I said, you may be known as somebody who flakes a lot, somebody who dropped out of school, somebody who started something and they didn't finish it, and that's your reputation, But other than that, you're definitely known as somebody who is, who does a whole bunch of shit. You do a whole bunch of shit, What else? Mars and Gemini in the 10th house. What makes you angry, though, what makes you pissed off, is if somebody tries to tell you what your career should be. Like, what makes you angry is if somebody tries to kind of direct you or pin you down. You don't like being pinned down, especially when it comes to who you're known as. So if somebody knows you as, oh, you are the girl that, I don't know, you were a bartender, and let's say you're not bartending anymore. You would hate if somebody had to call you that, So then how you would retaliate would to talk shit also, but I feel like it would be more so like you would retaliate by doing something completely new and then trying to make that work, because it's still going to be dealing with your career. Like all that anger and aggression is going to be directed towards your 10th house, your career. So yeah. Yeah, those vibes. Yeah, let's move on to Mars in Gemini in the 11th house. So the 11th house deals with, your associations, people and places and things that you are associated with, people, places and things that you are acquainted with, It also rules technology and how you connect with like demographics and the large masses of people. It rules space and learning about space and learning about things that are not familiar to Earth, just going out of Earth, out of the box, out of the sphere of this planet, basically. That's 11th house shit. But generally, it also rules things that we're not familiar with or things that we don't interact with very often, because there's still that detachment there. So, with having Gemini in the 11th house as a Leo rising, you are somebody that, once again, because it's double air emphasis, so this, just like the 7th house, can also make you somebody who's, you feel like you need to have the support of the masses. So, this is definitely giving somebody, who has to ask your fans or your followers on social media, hey guys, should I do this and this and this, hey guys, should I, because you are essentially motivated by the opinions of others, and you definitely somebody, you won't do something if the large group of people don't approve, because this is definitely going to give you some people pleasing tendencies, so yeah, you basically follow the crowd and you adapt to the crowd and you adapt to the, yeah, just the flow of the crowd, So if the flow isn't doing a specific thing and you're trying to astray and do your own thing, then you'll feel like it'll make you feel kind of demotivated, because the masses aren't supporting you. Excuse me, the masses aren't giving you the validation that you want because you are motivated by the validation of the masses, whether you realize it or not, So yeah, it may not necessarily be a dependency on the people that you're close to, but you definitely do depend. Like you will probably take into consideration the opinion of someone that you don't even know completely, someone from the internet that you don't know. Like you will highly consider their opinion on your choices. Like, you'll consider their opinions over your choices a lot quicker than you'll consider someone who's close to you. Because it's the 11th house. So you're motivated by the interactions that you have with complete strangers, people that you're unfamiliar with, But in that sense, you're also passionate about interacting with the masses. You're probably somebody who probably has a large following, and people know you, like in your associations, people know you as somebody who not only can speak, but you speak passionately. So you could be a really good public speaker or motivational speaker, especially in your areas. I mean, you're Leo rising with this, so great. You become passionate about communicating, and then your rising sextiles your Mars, so that's really great too. And then if you have this with your Mercury and Gemini too, then that's even better, because then you're really good at, speaking to the masses. But not only that, super great with numbers and mathematics. These are the math geniuses, technology geniuses. You know how to, even mechanics. You know how to work a phone. You know how to use a phone. You're very interested in gadgets and shit like that. And if not, then you're interested in learning about these things. Yeah, and then I feel like your anger language would be if I feel like your anger language would be directed from social media too. Because as much as you're motivated by social media and the people that you're associated with, these people could also make you angry. So if somebody, like if a troll comments on something, like that makes you angry. People on your social media commenting shitty things, people that you're unfamiliar with commenting about you, but in a negative way, that'll make you angry. And then your way of retaliating would be to pull out your phone and be like, you guys, I had a really horrible day today. You'll never believe what happened, And because you're also passionate about communicating to the masses. So that's how you would retaliate, just by communicating to the masses and telling them, guys, this very horrible thing happened to me today and it was so bad, That's your way of retaliating. But definitely social media is a big part of your life, Yeah. those vibes. And then moving on, last but not least, to Mars in Gemini in the 12th house. 12th house rules your subconscious mind, isolation, your hidden self, the secret self that you don't know of. It's also a water house, so it's also a private house. But generally, 12th house rules your unconscious mind, your unconscious self, dreams, your imagination, your illusions, your dream world, it rules substances, substance abuse, jails, hospitals, psychic abilities, your emotional connection to God through connecting to the masses, because in with 12th house placements, they see God in everything and everyone that they interact with. And also just, yeah, that fuzzy feeling you get like when you're sleeping. That's 12th house type shit. So having Mars and Gemini in your 12th house as a Cancer rising, you are a sleep talker. You probably talk a lot in your sleep. And maybe you did this a lot as a child, but even now you may experience doing this where you just talk a lot of shit. You just talk so much in your sleep. But people may not know that you talk a lot actually, because one thing about the water houses, as I said, water houses you don't know. And our water houses we usually experience only when we're close to people, as I said. So with having Mars and Gemini in the 12th house, you are somebody that only when you get drunk, only when you get high, you are the talkative ass bitch. Oh my god. You talk so much when you get drunk or when you get high. Like so much, but you're super funny. And then this is a situation where people are like, dude, what? I didn't know you were so funny. Oh, I didn't know you were so free. It's like a situation where, only when you're drunk and high, you feel a lot more goofy and a lot more childlike. Because this part of you is hidden. Like, you also unaware, and other people are unaware of how chatty patty you are, until you get faded. My nigga, I'm faded. You know what I'm saying? That situation. It's that situation, guys. you know? But yeah, you have no idea. Other people have no idea that you become so very talkative. But even when you're alone, like when it's just you alone in your room, you probably think a lot, big time thinker. And just before you sleep, you probably think so much, bruh. And yeah, guys. Yeah, that's that. Mars and Gemini in the 12th house. These are big time secretive thinkers. But secretly, you are very, very smart and intelligent. You think of many different things. But the thing is with Cancer rising, because you have Gemini in your 12th house, you probably think yourself into feeling a certain way. And then you start feeling like the way that you felt, you'll make yourself believe that that's how life really is. And in that way, you put yourself in an illusion just based on how you thought. And even based on your dreams, you may think a lot about your dreams too. Or you may have like inconsistent dreams too. Your imagination is super vivid, very childlike imagination, but also very inconsistent too. But in terms of what makes you angry, once again, your anger is hidden. So I feel like your anger would only come out once you're drunk or once you're high, or maybe just before you sleep, where you'll confess to somebody how something actually really made you feel. But I feel like, and yes, you also may have dreams of you fighting, but it probably is a dream of you having verbal arguments, like super verbal, like screaming arguments, where you're talking a lot of shit and you're talking super, super fast. That type of thing. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, I think otherwise you probably someone that you hide your communication, and you only communicate when it's needed or when you feel it's needed to be said. Other than that, you're probably a super quiet person. But you love to laugh. I know this placement, you bitches love laughing. You love laughing at what people say. You have a good sense of humor with this one. Definitely. And with that being said, we're done with Mars and Gemini through the houses. That concludes this video. Thank you for watching, everybody. Once again, if you'd like a reading from me, please hit me up and DM me on my Instagram and we get a ship happen. You know the vibes. So I'll see you in my next video where we will discuss Mars and Cancer, the fall of Mars. We will be discussing that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in my next video and take care. Yeah.